Hi, it's Kate here with your weekly dose of help and inspiration. And today I want to talk about living a great and fun life alcohol-free. Now, this is something I get asked about quite a lot because I know many people are worried that without booze, life's going to be really boring and flat and just a bit dull. Now, I'm filming this in New York, as you can probably tell, where I've been on holiday for the past few days. And I was thinking, gosh, this is such a good subject to talk about here, because for me personally, whenever I think of New York and I see this skyline, I always think of Sex and the City. I used to love that show. I watched it so much, but unfortunately, it was a program that really reinforced the link between alcohol, especially cocktails, and fun, glamour, friendship, and, living life to the max. And in my mind, all of that stuff became connected to booze. So the idea of stopping drinking felt like such a wrench because it seemed as if I was going to give up so much. It is really easy to fall into that trap of believing that alcohol is the key or a crucial part of having a happy and fulfilled life. So if you're struggling with this too at the moment, then I've got 3 tips I want to share with you to help you break out of this pattern of thinking. Okay, so first of all, remember that alcohol is just ethanol. When you take away the fancy packaging, that really is all it is. Ethanol is a great antiseptic and a brilliant disinfectant, and it does a good job as engine fuel because ethanol is the stuff we fill up our cars with, right? But we really don't need to fill up our bodies with this crap as well. That just isn't the secret to happiness, and we've got to stop romanticizing this drug and believing that a toxic poison is the key to having that kind of power. So stay focused on what ethanol really is. My second tip is to become aware of your confirmation bias. So we all have the tendency to interpret events in a way that confirms our preconceptions. So once we've decided that, let's say, we need to have wine in order to have a really fun night out, once we've decided that, then we unconsciously seek out information that supports this belief, and we ignore or conveniently forget evidence that contradicts it. So this is why you can easily remember all the fun times you had while drinking, but you tend to forget most of the bad times. So just know that if you're a drinker, you will have some beliefs about booze that are false, but right now they feel true to you. So just be aware of that and be open to changing your beliefs and changing your mindset. My third tip is to start making a list of all the great stuff you could do if you weren't drinking and feeling like crap. So maybe it's that Saturday yoga class you keep saying you'll go to, but you never get around to going. Or maybe you'd just like some more quality, hangover-free time to spend with your family. What is alcohol stopping you from doing right now that could be really fun and enjoyable and life-enhancing? Alcohol-free living opens you up to so many great opportunities. I mean, I know that whilst I've been here in New York, I've done a ton of stuff that I probably just wouldn't have bothered with or got round to if I'd still been drinking. Just as a random example, on Sunday morning I got up early and came here to Central Park to do a guided running tour of the park. It was so random, but so good. It was just me and this tour guide, and it was a really good way of seeing a part of the city I hadn't been to and I didn't know very much about. And I can guarantee you, if I'd been drinking the night before, no way would I have got up to do that. All right, so those are my 3 quick tips, and I want to finish by sharing one more thing with you. I mentioned Sex and the City at the start of this video because New York and this skyline always makes me think of that show. Now, if you watched it too, you'll know that there were 4 main actresses in Sex and the City, and on screen, all of them drank, and they all portrayed a particular aspirational lifestyle, I guess you'd say. Well, it wasn't until several years later, in fact, when I stopped drinking, that I realised that in real life, half the cast doesn't drink. Seriously. Kim Cattrall and Kristen Davis, who played Charlotte and Samantha, they're both sober. And when I found that out, it just reminded me of the extent to which we're so often sold a lifestyle that doesn't really exist. You know, whether it's via TV shows or adverts or magazines or the very select photos that our friends share on Facebook. To some extent, all of that is manipulated information. It's not necessarily the truth. And if you're at a stage where alcohol is making you feel less than your best, you know, when it's making you feel unhappy and stopping you from living your best life, I think you owe it to yourself to really separate fact from fiction and get clear on what alcohol does and doesn't do. You know, don't fall for the hype. Don't romanticize alcohol. So, I'm Kate B. Wherever you're watching this, please scroll down, leave me a comment, let me know what you think, and I hope you have an amazing alcohol-free week.